At 2:07 a.m., my phone rang in the dark, slicing through the silence like a knife. I almost ignored it. Almost. But something about the sound, too urgent, too lonely, made me reach out and answer before my brain could talk me out of it. On the other end was a shaky voice I didn't recognize. She whispered my name, then stopped, like she was afraid to keep going. After a long breath, she said the words that changed everything. I think I dialed the wrong number. But can you come over and be with me? Before we begin, if stories about real human moments, unexpected kindness, and quiet courage speak to you, please take a second to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these stories alive here on your channel name. Now let me tell you what happened that night. I live alone in a small apartment outside Columbus, Ohio. Nothing fancy, just a quiet place after long days working IT support for a hospital. My life is pretty predictable. Work, gym, microwave dinners, sleep. That night was no different, until the phone rang. I sat up in bed, holding the phone, my heart beating faster than it should for a stranger's voice. I asked her if she was okay. She didn't answer right away. I could hear breathing, not panicked, just heavy, like someone carrying too much for too long. "I'm sorry," she said finally. "I shouldn't have called. I thought I was calling my brother." Her voice cracked on the word brother. "But he moved last month. New number." I don't know why I dialed this one. I could have said wrong number and hung up. Anyone would have. It was 2 a.m. I was half asleep. I didn't know her. But something in her silence told me this wasn't just a mistake. "Do you want to talk?" I asked. "I can stay on the line." She hesitated, then let out a small broken laugh. "You don't even know me." "No," I said, "but you sound like you could use someone right now." Her name was Emily. She lived about 15 minutes away, in a rented house near the edge of town. She told me she'd had a bad night, then corrected herself. A bad year. Divorce finalized 3 weeks earlier. Dad passed away in the spring. Mom moved to Florida with a new husband she barely knew. The house felt too big, too quiet, especially at night. "I don't usually do this," she said quickly. I'm not dangerous or anything. I just feel really alone." I believed her. I don't know why. Maybe because loneliness has a certain sound when you felt it yourself. When she asked, "Can you come over and be with me?" my stomach tightened. Every warning bell went off in my head. Stranger, middle of the night, bad idea. But then she added softly, "I don't want anything weird. I just don't want to be by myself right now." I told her I needed a minute. I sat there staring at the wall, thinking about all the reasons not to go, and then I thought about what it would feel like to make that call and have someone hang up on me. So I said yes. I put on jeans, grabbed my hoodie, and texted my sister the address just in case. When I pulled up to Emily's place, the porch light was on. She opened the door before I could knock, like she'd been standing there waiting. She looked tired, not messy or dramatic, just worn down, red eyes, hair pulled back in a loose ponytail. She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Thank you for coming," she said. "I'm sorry if this is awkward." "It's okay," I said, hoping that was true. We sat on opposite ends of the couch at first. The TV was on, volume low, some late-night rerun neither of us was watching. The house smelled like chamomile tea. She handed me a mug, her hands trembling just a little. We talked, about simple things at first, where we grew up, what we did for work, favorite comfort foods. Slowly, the heavier stuff came out. She talked about sleeping in the middle of the bed now, even though she hated it. About reaching for her phone every night, scrolling through old photos she couldn't bring herself to delete. "I keep telling myself I should be stronger," she said. "Other people go through worse." I shook my head. "Pain isn't a competition." She looked at me then, really looked at me, like she was seeing that kindness up close for the first time in a while. Her eyes filled, and she turned away, embarrassed. "I didn't even mean to call you," she whispered. "But I'm really glad I did. We didn't touch, not once. We just existed in the same space. Two people sharing quiet. Around 4 a.m., she yawned and apologized again. I think I can sleep now, she said. Just knowing someone was here helped. I stood up, suddenly unsure of how to say goodbye to someone who had trusted me with something so fragile. At the door, she surprised me by hugging me. Quick, gentle, grateful. Thank you for being kind to a stranger, she said. Driving home as the sky started to lighten, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Purpose. Not the big, life-changing kind, just the quiet knowledge that, for a few hours, I had mattered to someone. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Emily. She thanked me again, said she'd started therapy, reconnected with an old friend, bought a small lamp for the living room so the nights didn't feel so dark. I don't know if you realize this, she wrote, but that night reminded me that the world isn't as cold as it felt. We don't talk often. A holiday message here and there, a thumbs up on a photo, and that's okay. Kindness doesn't always mean staying forever. Sometimes it just means showing up when someone needs you most. I think about that call a lot, about how close I came to ignoring it, how easy it is to assume someone else will help, how powerful it can be to simply listen, to believe someone when they say they're not okay. Kindness doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be heroic. Sometimes it's answering a phone at 2 a.m. Sometimes it's sitting on a couch with a stranger and letting the silence do its work. If this story left you with anything, I hope it's this. You never know how much good you're capable of in a single moment. A small choice can become a lifeline. A wrong call can turn into the right one. So be gentle, be open. And when you can, choose kindness, even when it's inconvenient, especially then.